Sanje Jonde Nebe Jewa Shaya Tubala Chate Lo Chedu Jago Cheo Gamba Jonde De Deje Rajomba Yanda Ba Zobe Sanje Riba Da Shabu Devara Shebo Jide Jemba Jivu Duve Kalu Juba Lana Meba Lada Mina Gamba Sanje Jonde Nebe Jewa Shaya Tubala Chate Chedo jazo jevo, tenpo chonde de de ji, rajumbo yandaba zobe sanje riba dan shazo, devara sheba jide jemba gyu dive kalo meba lada menaje tenpo sanje chonde de be, shaja tuba la shaza lo chedo jazo jevo, tenpo chonde Tishi Shemba Rajumba Yanda Barazobe Sange Ribada Shadu Devara Shemba Jidin Shemba Gyurundu Kalu Lana Neba Lada Menange Tumba Sange Chun Bejewa Shaja Tubala Chaze Lo Chudu Jazo Che O Kanze Kai So Chedan Ten Sajen Dela Gomba Dupurne Nane jide dena choje zo deze jeba jela ja nanda bo chodo suzan wa yishi jazo seji lumbo chaba jide sona lame wa gombo chini kyora ja senjo denpa chime dawe ja sendo chawa jela ja Dede jena siva suna chi nyame chini chela cha gombo tuje jende ba tamji kembe tenpa sona yende yazo je deshin shela cha dabe deja dewa gyure gewe nyezo le dro chido dena juju ba shigyu jela cha Rone drove la yande la ba da la ra de ne shinge da ba yende de gindu la ya cha de ba chi ya me ja je ge wa pu sun to par ge rangi sene yo su de ne sa je de ba yin kamara ri ma me da gyu ma se ba chu Melamolodan Jindabu Diji Jinan Didada Sonam Te Tamji Sikwa Yi Gogo Dune Genji Radu Gada Nada Chive Labrule Sibe Sole Drova Drova Sho.
To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the full destroyer, the completely perfected, the fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, Lord of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When the supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides and said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. Supreme signs, face like the spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. You are immaculate, 3 worlds are not. Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one God, the thusness I prostrate. The purity which makes one free from attachment, the virtue which frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to that dharma which pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realization, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean. perturbed by waves of aging, sickness, and death.
Papa Kunjo Soma Zelo Dige Dage No Jomden Je Jevo Kan Go Bumbo Rela Ke Onje Ke Du Chambo Manju Sembe Ke Du Chambo Dan Tawa Jido Juzo De Jomden De Samo Na Wa Xie Jiawe Chuji Nanda Ke Tengen Zela Nyombra Shuso Yan De Ze Shanju Semba Semba Jembo Baba Jere Se Wanju Chimbo Samo Chubo Nila Nambara Tashi Pumbo Ngabo De Dala Ya Rajin Je Tomba Nambara Tao Kene Sanje Je Tu Tsedan Demba Sheri Bu Janju Semba Semba Jembo Baba Jere Se Wanju La Deke Je Meso Reje Bu Kanla La Sherab Je Paru Du Chimbo Samo Cheba Cheba Deba De Chitar Labar Cha Deke Je Aju Semba Semba Jembo Baba Jere Se Wanju Shari Dade Bola Deke Je Meso Sheri Bu Reje Bu Reje Kala La Shera Je Paru Du Chimbo Samo Cheba Cheba Deba De Deda Namba Tawa Chate Pombo Ngabo Deda Rashi Je Dombra Nambra Tao Jesu Tao Su Tomba Tomba Ni Su So Zule Tomba Ni Shen Tomba Ni Le Jiang Su Shen Yin No Te Shen Du Tuwa Dan Du Shi Nambra Sheba Na Tomba Wo Shari Bu Deda Chu Tang Je Tomba Ni De Tsini Meba Ma Jeba Ma Ga Tima Meba Tima Dan Tewa Tewa Meba Kawa Meba Wo Sharibu de dawana tomba nila sume soa me duje me duje namba sheba me mime nawa me name cheme lume yime sume drame time rome mije kame bane yije kame yije nambara shebe kanje bado yame do mariba me mariba seba gaji me gaji sebe bado yame do Teje do dunga wadang kunjung wadang gobadang lamme ishime toba me mado bayang me do sharibu Deda wana janju semba na toba me be chiru shirage barudu Esenla deba me jin taba me de chindi lole shindu dene nyangele debe tara Tusu do namba shube sangye tamje jan shirage barudu chimba la tene lana Yanda ba zobe chanju tu ngombra zoba san jezo dawe na shira je paru do chimbe riba chimbe nga lana mebe nga nyamba da nyambe nga tunga tamje radu shivar chebe nga mezube na demba sheba chade shira je paru do chimbe nga meba daya tam gade para gade para sangade buddhi so Sharibu chanju semba semba chimbo teta shiro je paru du chimba samho la labar jao. Dende tengen zen tele shende chanju semba semba chimbo baba jere se wanju la lekso she chawa jene lekso riji bu dede shide chitara juje temba shindo shira ke paru du chimba samho la chebara Tishin sheba nambya jesu yirang Chomden deje dege je ka tsene tsetan dembo Anju zembo zembo jembo baba jire ze wanju da tamje dan dembe kore teta dan hadam midan ama Tisa jebe jide yirang de chomden deje zomba la ngomba de tong
Thus I have heard, once the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajgriha on Vulture Peak, together with a great assembly of monks and Bodhisattva. At that time, the Blessed One was totally absorbed in the concentration that examines all phenomena called profound illumination. And at the same time, the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahatattva, was engaged in the profound practice of the wisdom gone beyond, analyzing the five aggregates by nature. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra spoke to the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, saying, how should those of good family learn who wish to follow the profound practice of the wisdom gone beyond? Thus he spoke, and the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, replied to the Venerable Shariputra, saying, O Shariputra, whatever son or daughter of good family wishes to follow the profound practice of the wisdom gone beyond, should look at it like this, analyzing the five aggregates by nature empty. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is no other than form, form is no other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, recognition, karmic formations, and consciousness are all empty. Therefore, Shariputra, all phenomena are empty without characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are neither impure nor free from impurity. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no recognition, no karmic formations, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. There are no spheres of the eyes, no spheres of the mind. There are none of these all the way up to the sphere of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance, nor is there destruction of ignorance. There are none of these all the way up to, there is no old age and death, nor is there destruction of old age and death. Thus there is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no sensation of suffering, and no path. There is no wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, all Bodhisattvas hold of the wisdom gone beyond. And because there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond falsity, they reach beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times, by relying on the wisdom gone beyond, fully and clearly awakened to unsurpassed, most perfect and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the wisdom gone beyond, the mantra of the great insights, the unequaled and unsurpassed mantra, the mantra that calms all suffering should be known as the truth, for there is no deception. The mantra of the wisdom gone beyond is proclaimed, Tayata Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Putin. Oh, Shariputra, this is how a Bodhisattva Mahasattva should learn the profound wisdom gone beyond. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and praised the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva. Very good, O son of good family. It is exactly like that. The profound wisdom gone beyond should be practiced exactly as you have said, and then the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One has said that, the Venerable Shariputra, the noble Avalokiteshvara, the whole gathering from the world with its gods, men, and the gods and spirits, their hearts full of joy, praise the words of the Blessed One. So ends the noble discourse on the essence of the wisdom gone beyond.
모두세 당나도 드린 사포고 달세다 준주고 세다다 셔들 세다다 준주고 나나 가르송 그랬으나 딘데 대원이 줄네스 다기 개공 맞제나 딜 출바 시에메데 딜 몽바 시에메도 제가 준주나 대대 송여 세다 대대 인디 상하라도 달린 꽤 쉬워지기다 준주고 냠네 제디 아니 수수 소남 친구 고급 상부 왜 튕긴지 근데 내라고 좀 매봐 대신 땡겨 해서 루시버 코로나 되었다.
Giờ từ gì đến đó mong bị siết chồng ký lúc đó rồi
이 말.
đi mà
이런 그 말. 근데 녀원이 주는 다기 개고 맞으는 딜러 추가지 딜러 몽바 심해도 내가 그
oh rồi rồi mua bó xin mày đồ đến để
어디
xin mày
그 가운데 어디
Thanks. And now it is Thursday evening when we resume the way of the Bodhisattva. This is our lecture on the way of the Bodhisattva. And as is said in the way of the Bodhisattva, thus, having found this moment of reprieve, if I now fail to train myself in virtue, what greater folly could there ever be? How more could I betray myself? As we train in the way of the Bodhisattvas, it is a moment made possible by our great merit. It is an extraordinary opportunity. There is none greater.
어디들 세상인데 다 말하면서 지난 샘제지 컴 샘제 내색 컴들라네 컴 숨세 아 아무데로 토토들 숨에 컴 디네 수기 컴 디네 되베 컴스 come sum they come sum chen simjegi nesa come the come sum yo eso.
So it is so, and generally speaking, sentience resides in three realms. The sentient beings are of three realms. The highest realm is the formless realm. Lower than the formless realm, the form realm, and the lowest realm of all, the desire realm.
모두 제가 된데 이리 다 맞주 단다 가와요를 come sum구나는 가와요래스나 다 come sum구나는 아주 되베 come 생각들 요래스 되베 come 제가 되베 come 좀 되베 come 맞죠 되베 come 그 나네다 되베 come 될라 더 리트룩제 더 리트룩 나네 아니 미 come 요래서
So it is that way, and where in these three realms do we find ourselves? We are in the desire realm. Inside of this realm, the desire realm, where there are 6 realms of beings there too, and among those 6, we are in the human realm.
오야 이제 다 될라 come 리트룩 기베 나네다 마 장가 제 용도 강강들 하체 되네 남아이 되네 미체 되네 들루체 되네 이다체 되네 냐와스 또 리트룩 장가데 데려와서
So then, in 6 realms, when you count them out, the highest of all are the devas, beneath them the asura, beneath them the human being, beneath them the animals, beneath the animals the preta, and beneath the preta, lowest of all, the hell beings. They come to 6, these 6 realms of beings.
오야 다 단가 될라 리트룩 장가데 가르치는 게 장가 방림지도 와 방림데 간데실래 벌스나 동해 총쇼 요바데 강대 하지 디오데 때 동해 총아 요바데 하마이세 텔레 총아도 미세 네 된도세 네 이라는 동해 치쇼 이때 녀와 다 탈래요 어두스 동해 치종 그래베 도다는 장가데 갸버려 해서
Now, why are they counted as 6 realms? What is the rationale to their order? They are arranged by the degree of pain involved in the realm. The least pain is involved in the realm of the devas. More pain in the realm of the asura, more still in the human realm, more again in the animal realm, and again more in the preta realm, and most pain is experienced by the hell beings in the hell realms.
오야 다 된데세 다 림바데 된데세 다 디디 삼바다 될라 리트룩 대사 창도 투여와 꼭 한다 간다 내세게 섬지기 다 되베게 컴투 내세게 하림도 투제 다 두고 나네 다지 만용도 그게 셔바이나 장가 만용도 그게 셔바이나 아니 다 두고 나네 미 가면 개교디 용수 열에서 오지
Then there are these levels, and when 6 levels are identified, that completes the enumeration of the levels of beings in the desire realm. These levels are where the beings reside. In these 6 realms where beings reside, if you were to count the number of individuals in each realm, there are fewest individuals to be found in the human realm.
오야 다 녀와 들으니 하상기 장가 자모토야 망보여 어디네 이달래요 이다게 네 망고 이다 장가 망고 들으니 맞서 망제 미기 통야 여바 들로 미기 통야 이제 밀레 들으시라 망아 여바디 맞서 고주 말 뭐주래 다 하다 하마이 뜻도 땅을 두게 됐어 봐 균생적 삼로 땅 예시도 니 아니야 땡이지 요요는 거기서 거도 동그로 와 때문에는 아니 뭐 태워봐지 삼바다 나와 여배 균생 삼로 땅 아니 도시는 망아 여바 하고 같이 그래서
The number of individuals in the hell realms are uncountable, an infinite number of beings there. Preta, there are many sites within the Preta realms, and there are many individuals. And then we see, it is plain to us, obvious enough, the number of animals in the animal realm. Then we would need to study and contemplate and think logically to discover that too, in the realm of devas and asura, there are more individuals found there than there are individuals found in the human realm. And for one who has achieved samadhi, this will be directly evident to them. But for those who have yet to achieve samadhi, then some thought is required to discover how it is so.
Ini pa samlo tis pa samlo ting samlo tangna dendro da ngendro ni chigirwa dendro ngendro. Ta dendro da ngendro ni nane dendro di nyunga ngendro di manga yebati ta ko yugi chan chagi yore so.
And then to reflect more deeply still on a division among sentient beings into those in fortunate realms and those in unfortunate realms, the higher realms and the lower realms. There are two divided so that there are fewer individuals found in the higher realms and many more in the lower realms would be discovered only first by considering the cause for it.
Oh yeah, that dendro da ngendro ming di kandes tobar ming di kandes kola chile dendro chile ngendro karjin ming tabar na yu kewa topji dribu dewala to ya dugu yuwa insan dendro chile yu mege topji dribu ngesong ma tu ngel ma chigi yuwa insan ani ngendro ming di ote tabar
Why were they named higher and lower realms? The fortunate realms are the higher realms, the unfortunate realms, the lower realms. And how is it the case that one is higher, one is lower? By accumulating causes that are virtuous, causes which lead to contentment, an upward path, one achieves birth in the higher realm. And by accumulating non-virtuous causes which send one downward to realms of misfortune, a downward path, these are lower realms, and so the name, the higher realms and the lower realms.
That is okay. Ngala tagdu sama pejana mingda to drawas to drawa ritu drawa semjen se to. Cheda ta dizu ka mingdi drawa singedi rangla. Okay, kene chik to de tuya me ba pe. Ya sone tungen telo de ngero to skora kene drogu yo. Rawa me ba drogu yo isa kola drawas mingda ba reso.
And it is found in the textual tradition, these beings called migrators, called migratory beings, 6 kinds and 6 realms, called this way, named and described this way because it is impossible for any migrator to avoid imminent transmigration over and over again, moving from higher realms, lower to lower realms, and on again, powerless in their perpetual transmigrations.
That Madhuda Sheba Karsana. That door ritugu nane and mila kadi, the Hazang New, draw Shen Tana, midi Hazang Nua. Oh, draw Shen Dizula, Tanga Jamma to a Yoba. Mig draw Tanga Jab to a Yoba. What did he cover your response?
And what we are describing then is how it is the case in 6 realms beings that to be born a human being is rare. It is rare as there are fewer individuals in the human realm compared with beings in the other realms. They are very few. The beings of other realms, very many and innumerable, uncountable, whereas the number of human beings born is discrete, can be counted.
Oh, yeah, that's it, na. 아니 장가 만유기 개발 여봐 한 뒤나네 미리 장가 미기 좋아도 용어 여봐 이제 여봐 균센티 가르쳐 버렸으나 미기 루디 토발라 아니 유 개발 망고 두고 여봐 어디 개발 요거래서
When comparing numbers in this way and finding human beings to be fewer, one discovers this rationally, for the recognition is of a human rebirth being what it is by virtue of causes that are required. The causes that are required are many, many causes required for the exceptional human birth.
뭐야 밀루 렘바 쌈라 양 아니 추좀 수마소나 추좀 마소나 밀루 렘이 렘이 주 상기 매바 다 추좀 수마세 추좀 수에 강라야 다 단도 진소 진바다 쇠바다 삼대의 혈압 진주 감각을 줘 요조디 추름제라 로바 아니 파진 하마 투티 줘 맞잖아 아니 밀루 렘바 이나양 아니 밀루디 옹고마 상교 아니 셰바랑 신도 만해봐 아니 드랑라 라마메바 딜리나 깨두고 와체산다 추름 숭니 밀루 토바 대양 밀루디 빼뿌다고 토고 고이나 아니 파진 두기 냠내기 심바고 그래서
Required for a human birth is an ethics, an ethical discipline, without which it is impossible to achieve the human birth. But a mere human birth will be a birth with disabilities for any individual who did not combine their ethical discipline with charity, tolerance, discipline, concentration, and wisdom. Ethical discipline necessarily paired with these in order to achieve a human birth with full faculties in a place of freedom and liberty, but without the complement of the other 5 of the perfections, mere ethical discipline will leave one born a human being but disabled, unfree, and so the complement to ethical discipline are the 5 remaining perfections, paramitas.
어이 다 텐제 이드 다 가르치고 그랬으나 다 수수수수라 삼로 땅데 땅 알아 단에 밀루제에 맞에 알레베 하장게 밀루 상보 아니 셰바랑 신도 내봐 아니 엄보 마창 많이 봐 엄보 창 많이 봐 그냥 랑게랑 언제 사는 수수를 여봐 텐제기 튕진 창보 텐제 깨봐 뒤 아니 가데스 총아레스나 아니 깨와 엄마 되기 맞아 냠내 야고 제벌라 때네 달린 제부 모두 밀루 짜신 것도 디스토버레스 뭐지.
So what does one do then, each reflecting on their state of being born a human being, and not simply born a human being, but born complete in their faculties with their inborn native intelligence, complete in limb and faculty, and with all of these conditions present for one? How did it come to be? It came to be for one in their past existence, practiced sedulously in such a way that the human birth was gotten by them.
어이 세상 다 이게 겨워마들라 투지체 사람 교리 배 겨워마들이 교리 지당 만으로라 때네 달린 나라 배 이제 고급 상보 류 상보 배 이제 차상 여버지 중화대 피시고 배 가딩 트레이닝 제수 이런 식으로 해서 놓지.
And then I would be grateful to you. One would reflect of their own past existence, how it was that you at that time practiced correctly and afforded by that correct practice of yours, just this, my present exceptional human body, and this is cause for my rejoicing and my celebration. Thank you very much. That rejoicing, this celebration is extremely important.
Oh yeah. 다 아주 달린 고급지 톱살. 다 고급지 톱살이 아니 내가 줘버려. 다 내가 요 말을 했으나 내가 줘요 말에. 다 단히 파. 양 개와 고막 야고치니 다른 야고 수와 나시 디니파 드로디니기 개와 제만을 드로니지요. 드로니디에 양 드로서 되고 아니 바글 랩사 야고 랩사니 베 삼들 착하상기 동에 매바 강에 매바 라와 이거 봐 창문 먹고지 고기로 와 어디 다 소거래 소야디 다 달린 거죠 소야 다들 뒤지들에서
Now, with this opportunity gotten, is our work complete? It isn't at all complete, just as it was in the past, by that labor in the past, that we found the present conditions what they are, favorable. There will be again a departure, and to ensure that after this departure, where one arrives, when one arrives, is a favorable place of freedom, where one's position again is favorable. To make sure of this, then in the present, we work toward it.
Oh yeah, 제가 뒤도 다치만 야고 용서래 용서 말해 다 아니 야고 속 고세래 고사 말해 야고 고래 고 말해 다 디기디 도보 디기디 레고요스 제가 다 뒤도 좀다 수수수를 들어왔던 수수비 뭐바데 개첨보래 말해 개첨보는 야고지 고래 고 말해 기부지 고래 고 말해 기부 고나 아니 다 가르쳐 보래 다 저거들 해서
Is what is to come sure to be positive or not? Would one prefer it to be positive or not? One may reflect and pose those questions to oneself. Is my fortune in the future a concern of mine or not? Would it be important to me or not? If it is found that it would be, then what would I do?
오야, 다 된제 인도 다 치마 야보 도서래 도서 말에 따사지로 왔다고 그래서 단대기 숨로 당당 쌤들 쌤들이 내가 가르치기도 믿어 쌤들이 삼로 야보 당기도 믿어 네 세치마 다 야보 누구도 믿어 따사들에스 다 세모마되게 가서 야보 제대로 믿어 따사디 단대기 류디 세모마되게 야보 제발할 때는 단행가도 류 상고도 톱 사러 와 나 치마 야고 토비야게 지도를 야고 지기도 믿어 따서 쌤도 따고 그래서
Whether the future portends positive experience or not, what one's future promises to be, to learn that, where would one look? One would look to their own mind for what the mind is involved in, what the mind thinks. This is the pilot light, the lighthouse, to refer to know where to the mind goes. The past, the evidence that in the past, one's conduct was virtuous, is the very present human body, which has been inherited. But where one is bound can be discerned by turning one's attention to one's own mind.
오야, 다 인도 나 아주 쌤들이 야보 구름 삼로 야보 스탄 아니 다 rangi 배 되선 고송 그냥 매디체 아니 제발 때네 아니 rangi다 다대기 류텔라 데스다 수습 마지바다 류레 강에 연나양 된줄라 대두기 삼로 마당아체 다 치마 편제라 삼 대화 용해디 다 제거해디 달랭기 류티기 랭게디 자기 어려서
Then one would refine their intention and employ their study and contemplation and mental cultivation using the human body. It is a human body, an experience that is unpleasant and painful, too, yet without a preoccupation with satisfaction and dissatisfaction, and instead with an intention to ensure that the future is positive, one characterized by contentment, one puts to use the present human body.
어야 그때 인비 다 만나도 다는 탑에 밀리딜라 아 밀리디 아니 다 랑기 안되지 랑라 대화 간되지 고고 유나양 루트야기 뉴바 튠지 차상 상와 어야 랑기 마dum나 아니지 가가래 아니 도리 쭉 сед다도 찍고 차가 나 단데 도리 주고 나는 미기 도와디 도와 신래 개발도 파바래 코토발라 아니 규망고 싸고래 수토망고 싸고래 나 윤세망고 셰디 나 류디 토바 이나 아니 지투야 다 대어드베다 동에 세야기 차지 망아 여봐 투투고 여봐 도와 셰다기 투마투바 미기 도와기 투투고 여봐 어디 저기 된 상보디 인자 다들 계신 분이 봐다는 제시 이야기 어려서
With the human body that one has, one is able to achieve whatever they wish. For the human body is of extraordinary power and capacity. All potential and conditions for whatever one would intend are present in the human body. And this sets the human body quite apart from any other migratory being's body. The human body is exceptional, the human birth exceptional. Exceptional, different and apart from birth as another migratory being. And it comes to be the human body and the human birth through the accumulation of its causes, an accumulation of the store of merit required for it, and then when it is had, anything that would be dispelled by way, anything that would be achieved in contentment, the means is present in the human body for it. The human body is capable of whatever it would intend. So we are presently describing just the way it is that.
디 이두서 뭐다 되게 되게 다 리덴티키니 아니 개와지 좀 맞투나 아니 딜레 류바 셰메스다 딜레베 누가 정말 값이 셴요 말에 딜레 몽바 딜레 몽바스 다 딜레 고가 신다 수강 요 말에스 아 간다 밀루 딜레지 톱네 아니 브랑게 배제 땅 맞투가 있나 아니 든둘레지 탑교하래 아니 선제 신다레지 앞에 고가레스 어디스다 송구 열에서
Then with that human body, if it isn't put to its use, that would amount to surpassing foolishness. What greater folly could there be to fail to use the human body to allow it to go to waste would make one's plight much worse than any mere animals. It would be shameful more embarrassing and more foolish.
뭐야, 다 이래 인도에서마다 아주 다 달래 밀리티 키니다. 룹투바 다 루비아게. 아니, 다 밀리티 키니다. 아주 가르 대화 두그래. 동에 세고래. 스타디 세 두그래. 뭐야, 다디 세야게 되달라. 탑 가리요래. 그래서 봤다. 탑들라. 아니 탑 초도 주바디 자주 생각 라베드레. 셔럽 초도 주바디 아니 동이도 셔럽 라베드레. 딩이를 라보레스. 딩이를 라토바이나 아니 동에세 두그레 대화 두그레. 스타탄다 디시기 어레소노스.
To accomplish the Dharma, employing the human body, which may be used to accomplish the Dharma, the human body would be used to eliminate pain, to find contentment. And it can be done. What are the means to ensure that it is done? Best in methods, bodhicitta. Best in the development of wisdom, shunyata, emptiness. Then one would train in these two. And by doing so, one will alleviate pain and sorrow and find contentment. We are observing this here now.
예. 다 된적이 아니 대화 타다 두야다 동에 탐제 세 투니기 아니 장주기 셈니디 귤라 깨고로랑 톱고로랑 귤라 깨고로 세상 깨고 이도 좀 다 딜라 귤라 맞게야 돼 가르치는 맞게 버레스 깨 맞추니 소레스 어떻게 맞추니 아니 다 가상 아주 제시 잡대야 사회 니모 툭 니외 니뉴 니슈스야 니모디게 되게 나도 생각 깨야 너바게 차대로 세상 다 당고 깨 맞추니 되게 모두 지기 어려서
Everything in contentment can be achieved by the human body, and every pain and sorrow eliminated by way of the two forms of bodhicitta. The two forms of bodhicitta, there are two kinds, must be produced, generated in the mind. One must win these two types of bodhicitta in the mind, but what is it that has so far prevented that? Just these 6 root afflictions, afflicted minds, the 6 root klesha and the 20 secondary klesha. We are presently exploring the 6 root klesha.
야, 당고 사회 니모 툭스기 되다. 장가 감사 자고 우체를 감사 장가 자 투고. 일단 다 니모 툭스도 되자 공로 나제 숨제. 아니 말이 대숨 따와 툭스 일 사회 니모 툭스 감사 선나 장가 자 투고 그래서
These 6 root mental afflictions ought to be ready at hand, countable finger by finger, that begin with
아무 되자 씨.
beginning with desirous attachment, followed by anger, followed by pride. These are the first 3, followed then by ignorance, doubt, and view.
사회 니모 툭스 사회 니모 툭스 고 자와 있다 니모 탐지 깨야게 주로 제게 나폴라 자와스 민다 그래서
These are the 6 root afflicted minds, the 6 root klesha, called the root, for they produce all of the rest of afflicted mental states.
땅 와서 계산 니모 당봉가도 몇 살에 영어 동봉가 가서 들어가면 도엠바 당부 되자 시당 마제 말이 대좀 하다는 가서 두바 따와 걸래 되어래 손지.
The first five we have completed, beginning with desirous attachment, lust, followed by anger, followed by pride, followed by the fourth, ignorance, and the fifth, doubt.
계산 칠레다 제버지네. 강가 시에자르다 되자가 칠레 공도고 칠레 시당기 칠레 시당사 마제기 칠레 마리바기 칠레 태송기 칠레 저 고상가서 되게 사단 더 사와지. 다들은 디네 따와서 다 따와서인데 어쩌지 그래서
Complete with descriptions of the function of each of the klesha, we have finished these first five. We're done with the first five. The function of lust, of anger, of pride, of ignorance, and of doubt. We have finished these.
당연히 이 슈구 빠지지. 요와들나 슈구지 잠깐 뒤에 이제 좀에 게르스다. 이게 좀에 게르. 딱 이제 좀에 게 뒤단에 따와니 이제 따와생데 가르치레스나스 유진니 수당 미튠벌 로버토베 다니지 셔런 니모체 데라 따와스 그래서
The nature of view is an afflicted understanding, misapprehending and inconsistent with the objective nature of its object.
그래서 생각이 니모체 데라 안에 로버 진주티 여기 니츠도 미츠바 로버 간데 징그레스 나데 진주티라 간데 요레스 나스 아니 다딜라 텔라스 로버토베 수지 나바 타데베 입나 예스 도디치가보자
Yep. Yes, lamnani nangse yes, yaman minrawan yes.
다나 고 난등알라네 디고레 당아도
나방아.
나방알라네 디고로
How does the misapprehension occur? What is involved in the misapprehension? What is the mode of apprehension that is mistaken? There are five types of forms that the misapprehension takes.
다 당모나는 당모들 명이 직다스다 직다스 직버다와스 다 직다스게디 간데 저스나 녀월레베 풍봉아 요와 녀월레베 당아랑주 사진이레 풍봉아 요와 풍봉아 남라 다다 다길 양다바 제수다베 쇠바당 직세 그래서 양다바 쇠바당 직세 뇌바당 니세 그래서 르르당 순도 똑바당 디가 사세 쇠바체 뇌바체 르르세 똑바체 따와 가임바 디가 보텔라 대가 뭐 탐지 개베 땡치베 레진시라 아니 지가스라 워다 서버사 되지라
The first of these is the view of the transitory collection. The view of the transitory collection involves with the five compulsively acquired contaminated aggregates as the original object, the emergent notion of I, the self, and mine, that which belongs to the self, and in the tolerance of the notion, any pursuit following the notion, any considerations and conceptuality, and any further views pursuant of this notion.
다 티네 바티스 연주 마스 고바치 겹긴다. 다 년례지 풍보라 미네스 녀월레메 풍보스 땅아라서 수구 풍보 소여 풍보 뒤시 풍보 넘버스 풍보가 년례지 풍보가 세르다. 풍보가 뭐 텔라 미네 아니 가다 나다 나이 집에 나스 풍보가들 베네 나식지 아니 녜스 나이와스 녜 집에 싫어 니모지도 니모지 오야 텔라타 직다스 세울라 나한테 고거래 손스.
And we'll take another careful step, but begin again with the 5 compulsively acquired contaminated aggregates. The 5 compulsively acquired contaminated aggregates are form, feeling, discrimination, consciousness, and karmic formations, with any of these as object, the emergent notion of the self, I, and that which belongs to the self, my, and that which is an afflicted understanding. This is the view of the transitory collection.
뭐야? 아? 다들 심부터 저셔도 직다 세지도아. 직과 따와서 직다스 니도 직과스도 타고 따사게 시디 당보디 때문에 뭐 미다보이바 직세. 그냥 직마이바 투마이바. 되게 직라 따고를 뭐 되게 마이바 되게 직라 따고를 해서 그러지.
아니 드마 많이 봐. 책 많이 봐.
맞다. 미다과스도
라라.
그 주로 매바 때보 매바. 마이 때보 매바 직세. 아니 직 많이 봐. 두마야 소바. 되게 따사 시디.
라라라.
오 되게 거를 해서 그러지.
To analyze first the term itself, transitory collection. The transitory collection is transitory, conveying instability. It is not permanent. That first. And it is a collection. It is not unitary, but an aggregate in a collection.
다디 지도자마다 거기 시기 거기 말한서부터 공부가 따네 따사기 때 거기 나서 지야기 나당에서 지야기 셰바티기 지야기 유디 딱 받아 지부 되게 간사지 요 말했어. 간사지 매바 때니 봐. 간사 쓰리좀봐. 직초 쓰리좀봐. 직보 단위 그거 되게 갈다고 그러잖아. 뭐 이제 교월 도니 그냥 두마 쳐봐. 근데 지금 단위 아니 나당에서 징그리마도 저기 교월 도야 매죠. 아니 직보들이 임바지라 안 되게 간사 쓴 진투야 요 말했어. 어디 땡기요 그래서 그러지다.
The transitory collection describes what is the basis for the view taken of a transitory collection. The five aggregates are transitory and a collection. They are the basis for the misperception of a self identified as I, which is misperceived as permanent, static, and unitary, but there is no such self. The transitory collection is transitory, changing. It is a collection, a conglomerate. There is no such self that is the self misidentified as unchanging and unitary.
Oh, yeah. 되네 땜바래. 세상 다 직소로 따와서 직다세. 직소로 따 직바. 직소 직바 스리자바 메타바 이바세. 소바스리 직마 이바 투마 이바. 어디 시행고래 해서.
And the name describes the basis as it is disintegrating, meaning impermanent, transitory, meaning impermanent, and a collection, meaning multiple and not unitary.
근데 이도 다시 가서 강화되라. 홍보가보 되라. 다다 다기 따위 제수 따위 쇠바탕 시라종다 이 장가지도 나시도 좀 당부 쇠바성도 장가자소. 오야 다 쇠바성이 되게 전다는 게지. 바트시 잡이나스. 쇠바성이 되 가르스나 치질로게 되라. 그래서 다 거기 나다 배나 나다 나이와 짐바스라로와 다다 다그르지바라도 다다 다그르지바스 홍보가 되라 다도지 다그르지바라와 제가 다그르지바디 콜로 치질로 너르바라와 근데 너르바데라 아니 수수기 배 지그라도 키도 매바 배 미자와 매바 너르나야 쇠바라와 되라 쇠바스라 그래서
아니 유르네 산토.
야
Then, as mentioned above, with the five compulsively acquired aggregates as its basis, the afflicted understanding of rather the emergence of an afflicted understanding with the notion of self, I, and that which belongs to the self, my. One may say, I and my, to capture this notion. I and my that identifies with the five aggregates, the notion is a misperception. The apprehension of a self, I, and that which would belong to a self, mine, is a misperception, a misapprehension. It is mistaken. It is an error. And when, though in error, one is not fearful of the error they've made, when one tolerates making such an error, this is that first form or kind describing the view of the transitory collection, tolerance of the view of the transitory collection.
아니야. 제가 당하죠. 친지로 된다라고 하잖아. 미스버 쳐보러 와. 미스버 맞지 서버 쳐보러 와. 빼나. 먼저 랑가도 노르웨이나 다 아카페가 랑가 노르서 다 백티마선 삼는 다 랑가도 노르바들 봐 유니 마노르바들 더 탑지 쳐보러 와. 대나시 내가 집에 있나야? 수 내가 노르스나 노르게도 넘사 파샤 마노르 탑지 쳐보러 와. 근데 맞지 왔지? 그러죠. 아니 친지 로그 마다 나이 진백이 로그 베드 온도 마셔로 치고도 쇼로도 오르지 난 딜라 서버들 서버 제바이다 안들 민디 당보들 사 남바 당보들 서버 민 대시 직접을 해서
What is meant by mistaken or erroneous is that one wouldn't follow along with its conclusion. One shouldn't tolerate an incorrect, erroneous apprehension, but we tolerate it. Just as if we were going somewhere and then we find out we've been going the wrong way, we quickly turn around, or when we're working and we mess up, then we naturally fix our mistake. That is what we would do if we didn't tolerate our own misapprehensions, but instead we misapprehend and misperceive and follow along nevertheless. This is what is meant by the aspect of the view of the transitory collection, that it is tolerated.
Oh yeah, that's 서버. 다 니버디 더바스 더바. Oh yeah, 더바스인데 다 로그 유텔라 전도 내려와 있다 콜라 더바스 민다버 해서
And desired in the sense that the mistaken object is nevertheless pursued.
뭐야, 저다 로베 유 나당 네 홍보당 홍보되라 홍보가오되라 나다 나이스 쟤네 로봇다와 되라 아니 다들 밥 대바 매바 마시바지 아주 대바진 슉처럼 진바인다 아니 걸어야 대바스 민다를 손시
The aspect of the transitory collection that is desire is following the emergent notion based upon five aggregates, the five skandha, based upon the emergent notion of a mistaken notion of a self and of that which belongs to the self, that which is mine. One continues to pursue what the notion ostensibly describes instead of developing any aversion to what is a mistaken object. One pursues that very same object.
뭐야, 다들 숨바들 당다 가스티그지 아 숨바들 르르당세데 르르당세데 다 로베 유텔라 넘버 제베 르르스라도 로베 유 풍봉아 알라 나가 네스 지야가 유텔라야 다니 바 풍보텔라야 아니 풍봉 바 장가게 바 풍보텔라 바 예지 풍보 야가도 누가 방고 예지로 대대 제바 인자 콜 르르스라버 해서 아
Sure. And the third aspect, we'll leave those first two described just as we have described them. Move to the third aspect of the transitory collection, which is are the intellectual descriptiveness applied to it, such that based upon five skandha, 5 aggregates, the notion of oneself, I, and that which belongs to one, my, and this mistaken apprehension produces activity such that there is discrimination and evaluation between these ostensible objects, such that one aggregate is said to be better, another worse, and so on. This enlargement upon these notions is the intellectual descriptiveness of the transitory collection.
다디네 시바들 롱볼 셴바스 롱볼 셴바스 롱볼 셴바스도 다 분봉아 될라 배 나다 나이스 배차 슉친구 징기로 얘기 포페 나 직직직직 나자 지금 알고 생각하시는 게 풍부 얘기 배 수부 얘기 미 얘기 암조스 배딱 쉬우 징기로 앞으로 공부 셴바이다 볼 똑바스면 따라서
Topa lamnani, singi topa, number topa.
어디 저거서 버리고 공부를 시험에서 또 බල고
With the 5 aggregates as a basis, and the emergent notion of mistaken notion of an identity, I, the self, and that which would belong to the self, and a proliferation of considerations given to it, such as this is my body, this is my excellent body, I'm important, I'm significant, that this is my body, this is my I, and on and on. The excessive conceptuality that follows from attachment to its object is the conceptuality of the transitory collection.
오예 따뜻해 부부 되게 직다게 따야게 유 부부가 왔대라 미네 아니 다 거기 유들 미봐 아니 나다 나이와라 아니 나도 따와 인자 따와스 아바데 어디서 미봐 부부가라 미네 아니 나다 나이와 나이와 나스지 아니 나이스 다 나이 부부 나이도 따고로와 이제 따와서 걸 따왔습니다 그래서
And then the 5th aspect, that with 5 aggregates, the 5 skandha as the basis, the misapprehending notion of I and my is an animated view of I, that which I do, mine, that which is mine, as it is a view taken of it. This too is the aspect of the transitory collection that is view itself.
오예 다 직배들 나로 이와 봐 유치해 직다 이슈선 치기 어려서
And furthermore, typified, again, the view of the transitory collection may be typified in the 20 further types.
오예 단저 잠가도 제를 뭐 훨씬 친다나 연구를 되게 좋아 제제 다 제례들 가르치는 따와 탐지 따와 예바 탐지 계획 땡치기 위해서 땡치기를 해서
And the function, rather, these 20 types will come again later. We turn now to the function of the view of the transitory collection. The function it serves is to produce all other pernicious views.
오예 따와 탐지기 말규가 있는 직소 따와 명이 따라서
And because it is the very mother of all pernicious views, it is known as the view of the transitory collection.
Oh yeah, 하나도 들은 거 없으면 대샤, 너네 탈다들 됐어. 다양한 말은 뭐를 시해요. 저한테 들은 뭐와체. 들은 것도 대샤. 들은 직다 승에 되게 전다들 로르니나. 아니 강사기 다음에 세조다 강사 다음에기 뭐뭐 강사 다음에 또 배시를 빌려 깨워라. 당고 가서 담에라 퇴바 300년 걸어 저한테 네 치들라 당고 직접 조단데 하고 시험이나 아니 가사기다 요래 가사다 요 말에 다 요래 다 요 말에 세야겠다 제사기 시디 어디네 제거래 숨지
We'll conclude here because what follows is the investigation of the extreme view, which is an extensive topic. And so we'll conclude here with what has been presented on the view of the transitory collection. Because the view of the transitory collection is for the person who would develop the wisdom, realizing the absence of the personal self as the discovery of the absence of any such personal self requires study and some thought and cultivation. That thought begins with, is introduced by, made possible by the introduction of the view of the transitory collection. For when one is undertaking to know whether the personal self exists or does not, the basis for their inquiry will be that very basis described by the view of the transitory self.
오예 저다 제가 돈이 공부 다음에 니 공부로와 강사기 다음에다 취기 다음에 세단다 강사기 다음에 또 벌라 당부 난징기 직덕이 미유디 로바이 바파도 난지 직덕 로드 미유디 바 디디는 강사 근데 강사 그동안 동원이 다니신데 강사기 다음에서 얘기 띵기 동반이디 강사가 다음에래 얘기 풍부되기 다음에디 취기 다음에 그 다음에 이 무엇인데 딩어서 뭐라서 다음에 얘 또도 잠만 얘 직다디 파까는 마 다음에 봐 또도 강사 다음에 또 풍부디 다도 맞춰 봐 또도 취기 다음에 또 그러와 어딘데 세단 다 강사 다음에 또야라다 계획신이 조디 직다디 자기 요래 손없이
In meditation in emptiness, examining the twofold self, the phenomenal self and the personal self, the discovery of the absence of any such personal self, the self of the person, the discovery departs from an examination of the object of misapprehension, that is, the misapprehended object, the object informed by the view of the transitory collection, and examines this mistaken object, the object made misapprehend the object that it is by the view of the transitory collection. And in meditation in emptiness, when the basis of the meditation is the self itself, I, and when the absence of that self is discovered, then the discovery of the absence of the personal self. This is discovery of the absence of the personal self. And when the object of the meditation is or are whatever ostensibly belongs to the self, those things that are mine, the discovery of the absence of any such self, to those things that would belong to the self, is a discovery of the absence of the phenomenal self. So the view of the transitory collection would be refuted as the view of the transitory collection is that which interferes and prevents the realization of the absence of the two-fold self.
Oh yeah, that is is 그제 죽었다는데 되는 데스게 저틀린지면은 뭐는 샤워.
Then we'll wrap up there, and if there are questions, we can do a Q&A, and if there are no questions, then we can recite our closing prayers.
Yeah, yes, 가져만 뭐.
What is the difference, if any, between ignorance and wrong view as Vishal has just described them? That's the first question. And the second question is, can he just outline the 5 types of misapprehension of wrong view? Because I think I missed the second.
Yeah, then to a comment on you, what day, and Maripad, and Lokta Kebar, Lokta,
직대래 놓다.
Lokta, dan Maripegi Kebar, Kanyanam, dan what did Nipa Lokta Nangsenga Yoba Deda Yangyar Changna,
놓다 직대래 이제.
that the Tikta Yingire, Lokta Rang Labson. And when you said the 5 types of wrong view, was it the 5
The 5
aspects of the transitory collection?
No, the 5 misapprehensions.
Lazo the ani lopar zimbanga
그래서 what's
jida ani tawanga ra.
Oh yeah. 따오나 대시게 되다는 몽버스니 버루라 쳐봐요. 나다 로탄 안다 가서 로버타 와나서 좋아. 디 몽버게 낭세래. 몽버디 캡치해라고. 몽버디 캡치하지. 나다 따오나디 좋아. 이 캡충을 해서 무슨.
The 5 misapprehensions, forms of misapprehension, are different from ignorance generally. Ignorance generally includes these 5 misapprehensions narrowly, but ignorance generally is more descriptive.
단단 가서 직소다 직다스기도 직다스기 따와가 셰지 셰디 코에게 싸워 코방나 코에 싸워 방도니 코마방나 코에 싸워 마방이 말이 버져로 어디 시기 어레스 지난 말이 뭐간가 코에 싸워 책 말해서
For the view of the transitory collection and 5 forms of misapprehension are significant as refutation of them, severs the root of samsara, whereas other forms that ignorance may take, those other forms of ignorance are not necessarily root cause of cyclic existence the way the five misapprehensions and the view of the transitory collection are.
말이거든 통마 말이보다 공마 말이보다 이어서
I like, oh, pongpangdang.
통마 말이보다 공마 말이보다.
Furthermore, there are misunderstandings abandoned on the path of seeing, ignorant states abandoned on the path of seeing, as well as ignorant states abandoned on the path of cultivation or meditation, further division.
어떤들이 저한테 내가 좀 전입을 가라. 아니 전이가 렌트서 하는데.
Does that answer both questions?
No,
No.
just the first one. So the second one was, can you just top line or title the five misapprehensions? Because I feel like I've
로바르 짐바 nga 양결식 장난다.
전이 따왕아 들어와.
러.
야, 따왕아도 당보디 방하고. 쇠바시.
他们继续说的。以前呢，等于说안에 직다기 남바
맞아.
nga요. 대만 이제 이
로도도 제.
마르치다인데 로디
알레지단 따왕.
타르다 여러와 아니 직다 타르다
직다제 타르다제. 수림 뜻주준지. 따와 총지. 로다. 디 로다 나 들어와. 디 지단 따와 나 들어와. 다 따와 나 나니 다다 나 직다 지고 시거라. 따와 총지 수림 뜻주준지. 로다 승아도. 거기서 게 따와가 시에도와. 뭐하래. 직다 타르다. 다들 디지털 골만 수수 것도 대시 때문에 세번 얘기해도 타르다 로도.
The five views are first the view of the transitory collection, second extreme view, third following a mistaken view as supreme view, fourth following faulty ethics as supreme view, mistaken ethics as supreme view, and wrong view. These are the five forms.
심바 따와 시부 타마 시부 등은 뒤라지만 용되기로. 아니 어떻게 좀 시대 세 쉬셔서.
Today, we've only concentrated on the transitory collection. Later, the four remaining views, too, will be presented.
Yeah.
Thank you, Geshe.
Yeah.
And are there others? If there are no others, then we'll make very careful closing prayers.
Yeah.
I think I just needed help with the further or just basic understanding of the objective misapprehending it inconsistent with the objective nature of its object.
Take all linear robot this 유기 내추당 미 템버 똑바로 똑에 다니기 싫어 용몽tin
여기 내주다 밑에 봤을 유다 유진이여와 유다 유진이 유기 내주스도 유고랑게 내주 간데 이메디 아니 짐바게 따용도 따다 마투바 너는 따와여와 어 진단 배치단으로 따와여래 진단 따다 마지바여래 자 어디도 그 짐바 로바스로와 세상 걸로 셰바기 유디 따도 잠바 따당데 거기 통하나시 유기 내주 따다 매봐 통주당 내주 가가이바 그래서 유기 내주다 통주니디 버루도 개발이고 동바이고 그대로 작업을 했습니다.
in afflicted state that is a misunderstanding, inconsistent with the nature of its object or the objective nature of the object, describes first there are objects and cognizers, objects and object perceivers. The object, in its very nature as it is, would otherwise be correctly apprehended, but this afflicted state of misunderstanding misapprehends the object and its nature, how it is. It is an event of misapprehension, misperception. Involved in misapprehension, misperception is the mode, the form that mistaken cognition takes. It mistakes the object for something which it is not. There is a gap between the object in its nature as it is and what is perceived as the nature of that object as it is. What is seen does not, what sees, the seeing does not conform with what is seen, the object, as it is.
예, 딱 안다. 근데 미기 통주이나 미기 번에 잘라 찍은 미니기 따와 있는 찍이 딱딱 유도 파게나 여반나 힘 통투거든. 찍이 파게나 여반나 힘 마통하지 야 통다 미다스 통되나? 거기 통주다. 내주다. 통주 가가자. 통주다 내주 찍과이마. 어디 저기 어디len 두나? 동이 된자야 빼려고 요래서.
As any visible object, when there are two observers of it, and one is able, with intact vision, to perceive correctly, and perceives the object correctly as it is appearing, while another hasn't vision intact, such that their observation of the object does not conform with the object as it is actually appearing, where the observation and the observed object convey in the single way in which the object appears, and so it is observed. This is to understand consistent with the nature of the object.
다 tīmā tāndā 이 tūndā 동반이기 제시 자원도 좀 맞다 되게 보라 돈 서서 루스다 되면 와를 담도 제시 망올리기로 하되 좀 아니 단 루 샤마즈 레디 좀 맞다 디주 내서 니주 걸 망올리비 아니 서드래로 와요 대샤쇼스
As Shunyata is presented, these ideas will only grow clearer. The convergence of observation with the nature of the observed object will be clarified further in what is to come. So we can conclude here.
Oh yeah,
Now let's like closing prayers.
Tene do bele toni ji gadara yamba kaji saba lome mare je don rowa yi nande jave ombo da gyuchi tema sumbe tsera kundu yang jambe yang ji tsewe je sone tembe remba kusan lam ji sho nyene drupe gena nye je sho rangi ji shin tobe lam ji ne shudra tsewe tranwe tabge ji drove yi je mba se je ne gyave temba yure zin gyo je temba rinjen choge ma jaba kyabjan nyamba gyurwe chode Yinji chembe yirabo kewa yi Tende teje sewara cheba jo Seje jawe menjun trilele Ledru chanju lamje rimbe yang Tadu nanje yila pedeshin Jawe zeba rindu jonjo je Laza dube dunjen rujeje, yege seje meda memebu, sera kundu jawe ngaba yi, namda lamda rewa majoje, kanze teba jola jujoje, sushin rula tsumba deyeze, Tudin namje tadu rojeje, rashi gyadu chugun gyaju
From my two collections, vast the space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds, wisdom, eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my life, my tradition. May I find the best of the paths of the complete teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings, with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion, in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined, may I offer this treasure of happiness to aid all sentient beings. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time by following the complete graduated path to enlightenment and the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their sons. May all human and non-human beings that have eliminated mercy and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddha. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may he always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere.
Dagi jinye sabe gewambe, dedan lo gula gambe. Kebara jesu lo san raba yi, tembe nibo rendo se jesu. Kare dawe kowe shingande, tedan dewa malu chove Chebe sewa teze yazo yi, shabe sidi bado tenyo shi. Jambe bawo jeda kemba dang kundu sambo deyan deshin Deda kunji jesu dalo che Gewa deda tamje radu Yuzo shebe gewa tamje ye Moa kanga chodo nga bade Daje gewe zawo digu jang Sangpo juji radu mowarki Changju sencho rembo che Mage bana geyu che Gewa nyamba me bayang One kondo pewo sho
I dedicate whatever virtues I've ever collected for the benefit of the teachings and of sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings, the venerable Losang Drop and shine forever. In the land encircled by snowy mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful sinners intending out, please remain until cyclic existence is ended. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way, that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue, with the dedication praised as the best, by the victorious thus gone once of the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the supreme jewel of Bodhisattva that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish, but increase more and more.
도대체 따단다 거기다 저 타마스도 대상이 탈다거든 세부 연구를 좀 탈다 지시대로 탈다서 근데 한일에 말로 엄마 되시여로 어디를 좀 됐듯이 계란 저 레벨 저 계란을 뭐야 보고 대모 땅 송송
Your question will be addressed naturally when we look at the second view, extreme view, identified for the purpose of avoiding falling into either view of the extreme and following the middle view. And as you are thoughtful, your question is a moment ahead of that presentation of the extreme view.
Yeah.